शतक सोहळा संस्थात्वयीचा आज करू साजरा सरस्वतीच्या मंगल चरणी मानाचा मुजरा सरस्वतीच्या मंगल चरणी मानाचा मुजरा मानवतेचे हे सेवालय ऋगसेवेतुनी पूजा प्रत्यय सेवेमधुनी मार्दव लाघव सेवेमधुनी मार्दव लाघव मुंबापुरी वैभव मुंबापुरी वैभव नायर रुग्णालय नायर रुग्णालय शतक महोत्सव.
A very good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all our alumni joined from all over the world. I am Dr. P.M.Dalal, Assistant Professor, Department of Neurology, Nair Hospital. I am your host for today's program. Indeed, Nair Hospital, with its humanitarian work for over 100 years, is the pride of Mumbai. With the blessings of Mata Saraswati, Nair Hospital has produced alumni who have spread the light of knowledge and service to mankind throughout the world. On the behalf of Neurology Department, it is my honor to welcome you all for this centenary year celebration. Let's walk through the premises of Nair Hospital, down the memory lane, and reminisce our cherished memories.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all on behalf of Nair Hospital and the Neurology Department. It is indeed a momentous occasion that we are celebrating the centennial of this great institute. It was exactly 100 years ago, on 4th September 1921, Dr. D.D. Sathe, Dr. Bhadkamkar and Dr. A.L. Nair of Powell Company started this hospital on 4th September 1921. It was started in the narrow lane of Baikala, Victoria Cross Lane 2, and today it has become the backbone of healthcare for Mumbai. Be it regular times or COVID times, Nair Hospital is always at the forefront of service to humanity. Being designated as the only COVID hospital, it has treated over more than 8,000 patients of COVID and vaccinated over 1 lakh people. In the process, thousands of its healthcare workers turned positive. I am sure the founders of this hospital will be content in heavens for the humongous service provided by the hospital. Today, the institute completes 100 years of service to mankind. We are conducting several activities, community activities, and alumni activities, as well as CMEs. This alumni activity is part of the Centenary of Nair Hospital. The neurology department, as well, has a long history when it was started by Dr. P.M.Dalal in 1963. As residents in neurology, we are much focused on our work and we do not know the rich heritage of this hospital. I am sure many of us don't know the struggles put in and the efforts put in by the founders, the full-timers, the honoraries, and other healthcare workers, clerical staff in keeping this hospital functioning as it is seen today. Do you know the connection of the institute with freedom fight or Mahatma Gandhi ji? Do you know that your alma mater is older than their Free India? Let us see the history of Nair Hospital in this small video clip. Thank you.
The year was 1921, British India. After the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Gandhiji observed that the only effective means to vindicate national honor is establishment of Swaraj. Consequently, the non-cooperation movement was inaugurated. The movement included boycotting the British goods, British schools, colleges and resigning from various government posts in hospitals, court and military services. The National Medical College was founded during this non-cooperation movement by few independent-minded and brave-hearted doctors of our city. Dr. D.D. Sathe, supported by Dr. Deshmukh, Dr. Bhadkamkar and Dr. Rao Nair of Powell's Company. They appealed students and faculty to quit the Grant Medical College and join this national non-cooperation movement. Their idea to start a medical college was for mainly students and faculty who quit the Grant Medical College. After the death of Lokmanya Tilak in 1920, Gandhiji started the Tilak Swaraj Fund. His target was to collect rupees 1 crore, which was to be used for financing nationalistic projects. To raise funds, these doctors got two top actors, Bal Gandharva and Keshavra Bhosle, to perform the powerful stage drama Man Apman. Rupees 16,800 were collected from the show, which were to be handed over to the Tilak Swaraj Fund and later utilized to start the National Medical College. In starting this college, the main idea was to be independent from the British government control. It was the first medical college by Indians for Indians. They first started the college in a small bungalow in 2nd Victoria Cross Lane at Baikala on a monthly rent of Rs 750. Once the college building was fixed, extraordinary efforts were put in to procure human dead bodies for anatomy dissection. We secured unclaimed dead bodies found along the roadside and went through great pains to get the letters of permission signed by Dr. Sandilands, the police commissioner. The curriculum modeled the course of London University. They also added Ayurvedic system of medicine with allopathy. Arrangements for starting the hospital were even more painstaking. Mr. Nitrisen Dwarkadas offered a chawl on Rebecca Street facing the YMCA playground at Agripada, slightly east of the present site, for the use of hospital for a nominal rent of Rs 1. It was named as People's Free Hospital. Dr. A.L. Nair was connected with the foundation of National Medical College since its inception. Dr. Nair was born of poor parents. With hard work and determination, he ran a successful business of manufacturing surgical instruments and appliances with his partner Powell. His instruments won the Grand Prix Award in Paris. He was deeply moved by the plight of poor patients and vowed to establish a medical institution where excellent free treatment would be offered to all. Around this time, he received from B&CI Railway a sum of Rs 10 lakh for his property on which the present Mumbai Central Station stands. He promptly decided to use this sum to start a hospital of his dreams, which he thought was a great necessity for the city. It was named as Bhai Yamunabai Lakshmanrao Nair Hospital after his mother. Dr. Nair donated 2 acres of his land for the hospital. After this, a bigger 4-storied college building was erected, the Stone Building, opposite People's Free Hospital. Final year students of the National Medical College were to be given LCPS degree. However, there was opposition from Dr. Hooton, the Surgeon General, Government of Bombay. He believed Ayurveda was not science and wanted Ayurveda to be deleted from the syllabus. Dr. Sathe strongly opposed this move. But the majority of the college council agreed for LCPS. The college was affiliated to College of Physicians and Surgeons of Bombay with a diploma of LMP to be awarded after 4 years of training after matriculation. The college was now secured, but for the next 20 years of its existence were of continuous struggle for survival. It was a medical college run by charitable trust. More than 3/4 of the finances came from donations as all patients were being treated free. The burden of running the entire hospital for 20 years was left to Nair family, especially Dr. Venkat Rao, brother-in-law of Dr. A.L. Nair. Dr. Venkat Rao used to get donation year after year and was known as Prince of Beggars. This course of events up to 1943 was further rudely jolted by a series of events leading to severe financial crisis. Long years of continuous strain, begging for donations, Powell and company going through depression was further hastened by an increase in annual expenditure of the hospital on account of war. The question was how many years this state of affairs would last and what was the next step. 1946 was an important milestone in the history of National Medical College. It was the Silver Jubilee year. The management decided to take advantage of this to take a leap forward to raise the status of college to the degree standard of university and expand the hospital with 300 beds. A Silver Jubilee Expansion Committee was formed to collect funds. Mr. S.K. Patil, the General Secretary of BPCC and other prominent personalities were roped in. They were lucky to find Mr. M.N. Desai Topiwala, who readily agreed to donate 5 lakh rupees without any condition. The college would now be known as Topiwala National Medical College. The Expansion Committee took great efforts to secure affiliation to Bombay University. With university affiliation in air, there was a rush of students wanting to get admission to MBBS course. For getting affiliation, the University Commission had a very important clause on which no compromise was acceptable. It was that a responsible and powerful body like government or municipality should take over the institution and guarantee its permanence. But the corporation was unwilling to take over the institution unless it was affiliated to Bombay University. It was not interested in taking over a LCPS college. Mr. B.K. Patel, the municipal commissioner, tabled the proposal of takeover in a record time of 15 days. The resolution was passed, and the corporation took over these institutes in 1946. As soon as the resolution was passed, the university agreed to affiliate the college. Since the powerful Bombay Municipal Corporation took over these institutes, there is no looking back, and today TNMC and BYL Nair Hospital have become icons of service to poor, needy, and temples of medical education. Post-university affiliation, the first batch of MBBS students passed in 1948. In addition to the basic specialties of anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, pathology, orthopedics, gynecology, radiology, ENT, and other subjects, it was the first medical college to start an occupational and physiotherapy school in 1955-56. In 1958, a 6-storied college building was constructed under the direction of Dr. C. Montero. During this era, for the first time in India, an intracardiac defect was corrected with the help of heart-lung machine in 1961. In 1963, Audiology and Speech Therapy Department was started and was one of the first in the nation run by corporation. In the same year, the Neurosciences Center was founded by Dr. P.M.Dalal. A new 8-storied hospital building was constructed for outpatients, inpatients, and operation theatres in 1968. During the span of 1971 to 1996, many superspeciality departments were recognized for DMMCH by the Medical Council of India. A beautiful OPD complex accommodating casualty, trauma ward, cardiac cath lab was created. Medical acute care unit, pediatric ICU, urodynamic laboratory and photochemotherapy were initiated in this phase. It was the first hospital run by MCGM to have CT scan center. It was the only institution run by MCGM which offered hyperbaric oxygen therapy. In the last 25 years, further upgradation of hospital keeps happening on a continuous basis. The OPD building was expanded into a 9-story magnificent structure in 2008. All superspecialty wards, 3 surgical ICUs are in this building. The MRI machine was brought in 2006. Casualty and OPD registration was shifted to the new building. Neurosurgery department was revived, the new ICU and DSA facilities in 2019. Today, Nair campus expands over 47,000 square meter. It has more than 16 building complexes with over 40 departments, 2,500 employees and a yearly budget of around 300 crores. There are over 850 sisters, 300 student nurses, 209 senior doctors as faculty and 730 resident doctors in training. 150 MBBS students and 161 PG resident doctors get admission every year. There are 23 super specialty seats and several university affiliated fellowships and paramedical courses like BP, MT and DMLT. The hospital gets referral from across the country. Every day, 3,000 patients attend the OPDs and 100 patients are admitted. Last year was a landmark year in Nair history. The Herculean services provided by Nairites in COVID-19 pandemic will be written in golden letters. In April 2020, Maharashtra became the hotspot of pandemic and Mumbai was the worst affected city in India. The Topiwala National Medical College and by Yamunabai Lakshmanrao Nair Hospital were designated as dedicated COVID hospital by Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. A provision of 1,000 beds for COVID-19 patients was made overnight. Within a month of Nair Covidization, 1,020 beds with 110 critical care beds, 120 ANC, PNC and 30 dialysis beds were arranged. Till now, over 18,000 patients and over 1 lakh vaccinations have been done at Nair. In the process, more than 1,000 of its healthcare workers have become positive. In this ongoing fight, Nair continues to be involved in COVID care post-second wave. What started as National Medical College with 6 students and 20 beds has today become a renowned and highly respected teaching institute. It has now over 1,600 beds with several building complexes to cater the poor and needy. The toil and sweat of few brave pioneers, the nationalistic ideals, the fight for freedom, kindness of philanthropic gentlemen who donated their wealth to put this institution on sound footing produces great doctors, nurses and benefits countless patients. The story of TNMC and Nair is a saga of achievement by selfless work and zeal of all Nairites.
Wow, I'm getting shivers down my spine. I'm getting goosebumps. Words won't make justice describing the glorious 100 years, the struggle of the pioneers in establishing this majestic institute. Now let's hear the saga of 6 decades of neurology department, 1963 to 2021.
Neurology department is one of the oldest specialty departments at Nair Hospital. Neurology branched out as a specialty from general medicine under Dr P.M.Dalal. Dr. Dalal joined Nair Hospital in 1958 as a tutor in medicine. He rose to become full-time head of medicine in 1965. He established the neurology department in 1963 while working as a part-time neurologist and full-time medicine head. Subsequently, the Neuroscience Center was started. It was located in an independent building. The building was later known as CT Scan Mortuary Building. A 16-bed neurology unit was created by Dr. Dalal. The department was then recognized for MD Neurology by University of Bombay in 1979. Dr. Dalal brought ICMR and WHO grants for neurosciences and installed first CT scan in 1983. The department had neuropathology, neurochemistry and an artist section as well. There were facilities for brain cutting and specimens of brain sections were kept in Neurosciences Center for study. He had keen interest in research. He worked with stalwarts like Dr. Louis Kaplan and Miller Fisher. He did research in stroke thrombolysis and was awarded gold medal in experimental medicine by Association of Physicians of India in 1970. He trained several neurologists during his tenure till 31st of January in 1990. The department had stalwarts like Dr. Pravina Shah as assistant honorary. She was ably supported by Dr. Gholkar. Dr. A.B. Shah took over as an assistant honorary professor and in charge of neurology on 1st of Feb 1990. He is a master clinician with extraordinary abilities in localization of lesion. He is a taskmaster none less than his predecessor. He trained over 25 neurologists spanning a tenure of 2 decades till 2008. He was the co-principal investigator and director of the project Cognitive Loss in Elderly in Mumbai. He conducted several clinical trials in epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, stroke and dementia. The new EEG and EMG machines were procured during his time. During this period, Dr. Gursahani joined as an associate professor and was actively involved in teaching and patient care. Dr. Rahul Chakor joined the department as a lecturer in 2004 and was appointed in charge in 2008 and subsequently professor and head in 2016. The department has achieved several laurels under his leadership. It is at the forefront in service, research and training. The department is now relocated to OPD building 3rd floor. The new EEG, EMG machines, electrophysiology services and clinical research area are at this location. The department is a site for international drug trials in MS and migraine. There are several publications and presentations to the credit of department. Neurology OPD and new disability OPD are located in this building. The neurology OPD are overcrowded with over 15,000 patient visits each year. An active stroke thrombolysis protocol is implemented. A structured teaching schedule is followed for DM training. Regular ward rounds, bedside clinical teaching, case presentations and journal reading is conducted. Regular CMEs are conducted. A well-attended stroke and neuro-ophthalm CME was conducted in 2019 and 2020. The neurology department worked in COVID-19 pandemic at Nair Hospital and Richardson Kruda Jumbo COVID Center, Baikala. A rich heritage of this department will be taken forward by the future generation of neurologists.
Great. I feel deeply inspired, charged, and motivated watching the rich history of neurology department and meeting the stalwarts and great teachers. On this auspicious occasion of the centenary celebration, Honorable Chief Minister Shri Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray has a special message for us. Let's hear his message.
दीर्घायुष्य देणाऱ्या अनेकांचं आयुष्य वाढवणाऱ्या नायर हॉस्पिटलला 100 वर्ष होत आहेत. हॉस्पिटल शतायुषी झालेलं आहे. त्याबद्दल आपल्याला सर्वांना तुमचं सगळ्यांचं मी अभिनंदन करतो आणि आपली ही शतकोत्तर वाटचाल पुढच्या शतकाकडे सुरू झालेली आहे. त्याच्यासाठी शुभेच्छा देतो.
We have a message from our respected Dean Sir, Dr. Ramesh Bharmal, who has always been supportive and is the driving force behind all Nairites. On this great occasion of the alumni meet of Neurology Department, let's hear from our Dean sir.
Everyone. It is always pleasure to have our own students back in their alma maters. On the occasion of Centenary celebrations and alumni meet of Neurology Department of Nair Hospital, I offer my best wishes. I am happy to know that more than 50 neurologists have been trained from the department since it was founded in 1963. Neurology department is one of the oldest specialty departments at Nair Hospital. Dr. P.M.Dalal established the neurology department way back in 1963. The department was then recognized for DM neurology by the University of Bombay in 1979. That itself is a milestone in the history of neurology. Dr. Rahul Chakor is the current professor and head in neurology. The department is a leading center in Mumbai for neurology services. The neurology OPD treats over 15,000 patient visits each year. The department has latest EEG, EMG machines. The department is a site for international drug trials. There are several publications and presentations to the credit of Department of Neurology. The department worked in COVID-19 pandemic at Nair Hospital and Richardson Krudas Jumbo COVID Center, which is at Baikala. The rich heritage of this department will be taken forward by the future generations of neurologists beyond centenary years. My best wishes to all the faculty of neurology department to continue the good work. I wish all the best for this event on the occasion of centenary. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean sir. Let's walk through the timeline of Nair Hospital Neurology Department. First, we will take you through the memories of the Neurosciences Center at Nair Hospital, established by Dr. P.M.Dalal in 1963. Dr. P.M.Dalal was the first neurologist, the founder of Neurology Department at Nair Hospital. As flowers leave their sweet fragrance, we all leave nothing but remembrance. Though Dr. P.M.Dalal is no more with us, his memories stay forever in the heart of his students and colleagues. We have with us Dr. Praveena Shah, Dr. Sirish Hastak, and Dr. Vinita Acharya Thakur, who are close colleagues and students of Dr. P.M.Dalal, to share their memories of Dalal sir. Let's first hear from one of the senior most neurologists, earliest person to witness and contribute to Dr. P.M.Dalal's era at Nair Hospital, Dr. Praveena Shah Madam. Respected Dr. Praveena Shah Madam needs no introduction. With her vast experience of more than 4 decades and her tremendous work in epilepsy, she has immensely contributed to the society. She is currently consultant neurologist at Fortis Hospital, Mulund. Over to you, Madam.
Hello everyone, all my friends and colleagues. Thank you Dr. Chakor for inviting me to share my pleasant memories when I was at Nair Hospital from 1976 to 1983 as Assistant Honorary neurologist. When I started, I was truly speaking very nervous because I was told by everyone Dr. P.M.Dalal is a terror. Well, as the time passed, as gradually we came to know each other, and with the very kind help of Dr. Golkar, who was a professor at that time, we started working together. And gradually my fear really turned into a respect and affection for each other. I was amazed when I started to see the richness of the department. Department had an independent neurodiagnostic unit of Siemens, independent laboratory, wonderful EEG unit, mangograph with a special room, Bennett's respirator in a special room in case any GBS or myasthenia needs it in emergency, 2 stenotypists, special artist department, biomedical engineer, and I was really amazed to see all this. Well, at that time Dr. Dalal was very busy in developing the neurosciences, and that is why he left the clinical responsibilities to me and Dr. Golkar. I of course remember Dr. B.N. Sawant as registrar, Dr. Om Saraf doing his DM neurology at that time, and a couple of other residents who have been of a great help. Dr. Dalal occasionally did take rounds in the wards, but that was not only of patients. He would see to it that each and every equipment is working, each and every air conditioner is working, because he always felt that when an emergency needs something, it should be working, and it shouldn't happen at that particular time something is not working. So he was very thorough in his work. And what I saw in next 3-4 years is hard work, meticulous documentation, proposal writing, sometimes even 6 copies of the proposal, and I used to wonder why. And he used to tell me, Praveena, in BMC if you have to work and get the work done, just pursue. I still remember one anecdote. Sometime in the round one day, he probably fired everyone. He fired me also for something. I was very upset. Maybe there were tears in my eyes. But when I reached home in the evening, what I saw was a note on my table from Dr. Dalal saying, Praveena, I'm sorry for what happened in the morning. I apologize. That was something great. A written apology from a boss. I mean, it's only a very broad-hearted person can do it. He was the one who did hypertension survey in B and C ward those days in 60s and 70s, because hypertension is the biggest risk factor for stroke, and he thought early detection and early treatment certainly would prevent strokes, and that was his great study with the help of the general practitioners of the B and C ward. So I think I had a wonderful 7 years. I learned what is administration. I learned how to go about if you want to get the work done in BMC, and that has helped me in my tenure as HOD in KEM later on. One another good thing, the neurosurgery department was headed by Dr. Vengsarkar. Wonderful human being, wonderful surgeon. He was the one who actually also started an EEG department, which was then headed by Nola, and which has done a wonderful thing to train even so many people till today. So our patients had no problem whenever there is a neurosurgical issue, because patients were in a safe hands at that time. So those 7 years has given me a lot, learnt a lot, and I definitely had a lot of respect for Dr. Dalal. Till he died, I kept in touch with him, and all that I can say, it was a great personality, but probably misunderstood by his upright nature and maybe some crazy behavior at times, but he was an intelligent person with a great passion to do something for a stroke. So Dr. Chakor is now heading the department, and I'm sure the department is doing a wonderful job. There are many people who are getting trained in DM neurology. So the legacy has really continued as a very nice department, and wish all the best to Dr. Chakor and his team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam, for your wonderful talk and sharing your rich experiences. We have with us Dr. Shirish Hastak, sir, a very dynamic neurologist trained at Nair Hospital with Dr. P.M.Dalal and Dr. A.B. Shah, sir. Dr. Hastak is a passionate stroke neurologist. He will share his memories of Dr. P.M.Dalal, sir. Let's hear from Hastak, sir.
Friends and my teachers, I am Dr. Shirish Hastak, consultant neurologist and regional director at the Global Hospital, Parel, Mumbai. Friends, I have been a student of neurology at the Nair Hospital from 1985 to 1989. So let me take you down the memory lane to 1985, the year I joined neurology as a student for DM neurology. My first encounter with Dr. P.M.Dalal, then the head of department neurology, remains fresh in my memory. I had been warned by my seniors that he was a strict disciplinarian. I went to his room, and Dr. Dalal looked at me sternly and said, "You have to come to the ward at 8 a.m. sharp, and you will leave once your work is over, which may not be at times till 8 p.m. And he said, "Are you ready to work hard, my boy?" I hesitantly said yes, where actually my love for neurology, had taken over and then moved on. At that time, the neurology department consisted of Dr. Dalal, Dr. A.B. Shah, Dr. Golkar, Dr. Saraf, Dr. Ajay Vyas, and later Dr. Sudhir Shah joined the department. We would all sit in the male ward, which was on the 7th floor, and look out for Dr. Dalal's car, which would come to the CT scan center. And one of us would then shout, "Boss has come." And with that, it would be a red flag, and we would all be trying to rush around and finish our work. Dr. Dalal, who set up the Nair Hospital neurology department in 1963, was a nationally and internationally renowned stroke specialist. In the 1950s, he was trained in Boston under Dr. Raymond Adams and Dr. C. Miller Fisher after having received a Rockefeller Stroke Fellowship. He was a brilliant clinician, and he was a scientist at heart. He would want a detailed clinical workup of each patient, which in those days was called a green sheet. Filling up these, I still remember, we would be sitting in the ward till nearly 12 midnight on the day we had admissions with my dear friends, Dr. Ajay Vyas, Dr. Sudhir Shah, and Dr. Om Saraf. So Dr. Dalal did a pioneering work in stroke thrombolysis. And in fact, his paper in thrombolysis in the Lancet in the early 60s is a seminal work on stroke thrombolysis. He would also go and do puncture angiographies himself frequently at the radiology department with Dr. G.R. Jankaria, who was also a pioneer in radiology in the city of Mumbai. Dr. Dalal would also do brain cutting and extensive teaching in the department. He also was instrumental in setting up the first CT scan department in the municipal hospitals early in 1980s. Dr. Dalal, who is also considered as a father of stroke neurology in India, retired in 1990 from the Nair Hospital and later worked at the Lilavati Hospital and continued his work at the Harkishan Das Hospital. Dr. Dalal, of course, has received numerous awards and felicitations, both nationally and internationally, including the BC Roy Award. We were also fortunate to have Dr. A.B. Shah, a renowned neurologist, as our teacher when we were at the Nair Hospital. He's an extremely astute clinician, and I still remember how he would pick up, subtle pronator drift, and subtle optic nerve involvement, which we had all missed. One day, just after I had finished my DM neurology, this is now 35 years ago, I hesitantly went to Dr. Dalal with an application for a stroke fellowship to the prestigious stroke center with Dr. Hachinsky and Dr. Barnett in Canada. And knowing my passion for stroke, he immediately strongly recommended me. I immediately got a paid stroke fellowship to Canada, which was rare in those days and is still rare today. Such was Dr. Dalal's international standing. I profoundly thank the neurology department for instilling this passion in me and the clinical sense, which has remained with me all my life. I also thank Dr. Rahul Chakor, who is the head of neurology at the Nair Hospital, and he has done fantastic work during the COVID times as the dean of the Richardson Cruzas Jumbo Center. Hats off to you, Rahul. Rahul has built a strong department at the Nair Hospital, and we Nairites can all be proud of this department. Thank you, Rahul, for continuing the legacy of Dr. Dalal and others. Now, friends, I would just like to show you something. I hope you can see this watch. And you can also see that it has the brain and the arteries inside it. Now, this watch has a little history, which I would like to tell you. As a student at the Nair Hospital 35 years ago, we would always view this watch on Dr. P.M.Dalal's wrist with great awe and respect, as it was an honor bestowed on him at the International Stroke Congress. During the last years of his life, I was fortunate to spend Saturday mornings with him and spend some time with him. I was really touched when, after his sad demise 2 years ago, Dr. Mrs. Dalal sent me this prized possession of his, which is his watch, as a loving memory, which I will always cherish. It is a talisman of my training in stroke and neurology at the Nair Hospital, Mumbai. Thank you, friends, and thank you, my teachers.
Thank you, Hastak sir, for taking us down your memory lane. We really enjoyed it. We have with us Dr. Vinita Acharya Thakur, who has spent a stupendous 15 years as a medical student, a resident, as well as a faculty, all under one alma mater. She is a student of Dr. P.M.Dalal and Dr. A.B. Shah sir, and is here with us to share her memories of Dr. Dalal sir. Currently, she is Professor of Neurology and Epileptologist at Penn State Epilepsy Center. Let's hear from Dr. Vinita Acharya Thakur, madam.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vinita Acharya. Most of you know me as Vinita Thakur. It's an honor and privilege to be invited to participate in the centenary celebration of Nair Hospital and Topiwala National Medical College. I would like to share a small slide presentation. At this time, I think it's been more than 25 years since I left Nair, but as this slide says, Nair is always in my heart and I never truly left it. In my neurological journey, the most important period of my life, I feel, is from 1979 to 1994, which I spent in both Nair and Topiwala National Medical College. In 1979, I entered as a medical student and got excellent training, both clinical as well as basic sciences, both medicine and surgery. And I had excellent teacher in almost every field. In fact, I know that one of our surgeons released a book at the Centenary functions, and he happened to be my teacher, Dr. Sharat Chinoy. And later, I went into internal medicine and I completed medical residency. I worked mostly with Dr. V.R. Joshi, Dr. Shanbag, Dr. K.D. Nilani was my teacher. And after completing my medicine, I joined as a lecturer. After working on faculty in Dr. Soneji's unit, which was more of a cardiology unit, we felt someone from the unit should do neurology. And that year, All India entrance examination was available. I took the exam and I entered neurology. That was 1991. And partly when I was a student in 1983, I still recall my 2 weeks rotation with Dr. P.M.Dalal, and the way he taught us to localize the lesions, it still stays with me. So that's where I developed my liking for neurology. And later, I developed more and more affinity for it. And actually, during our residencies in those days, we needed to do dissertations. I don't know if that is still true. And Dr. A.B. Shah did focus a lot on doing research projects, etc. And one of the things I found was the amount of encouragement that junior residents, senior residents received. 1991 was my first year in neurology, and I was asked to present a paper at the neurosurgical meeting. That time there was only Neurological Surgery Society. Later in that year, in fact, IAN was formed. So this was a picture in Manipal. This was my first year in neurology. And here is Dr. E.P. Bharucha, I believe, and Dr. Chopra, some of the big names. Interestingly, somewhere in the crowd is my future husband at that time. There he is, and he received the C. Bagaigi Award. I didn't know him at that point. And my 3 years in Nair were just excellent. And eventually, when I completed my dissertation, Dr. A.B. Shah and Dr. Dalal allowed me to present it at the International Stroke Symposium held in Bombay. And that kind of got me exposure to the rest of the world. This whole thing was in January 1994. Later in February 1994, we had invited Dr. Colin Binney from UK to teach us EEGs. This was at GS Medical College, and this was done by Dr. Praveena Shah. I actually happened to meet my husband in that EEG conference, and I moved to the United States later on. And I've been working here since then. I repeated my residencies, board certifications here, etc., and fellowships. While working here, I had an opportunity to work with Dr. Toole, who was the president of World Federation of Neurology, and he also happened to be a colleague of Dr. P.M.Dalal. So we used to talk a lot about Nair. And another place where I had my memories back from Nair was in the year 2000, I went to Melbourne, Australia. There was a World Stroke Summit, and you can see here, there were about 30 countries that represented their stroke data. And I actually was representing US, and Nair Hospital was one of them. So India was one of the countries among these 30s, and most of the data did come from Nair, and I was very proud to see that. Here is my work family. I work here as an epileptologist, but I've also developed a lot of interest in education. And I'm proud to say that all of that developed during my stay at Nair, the culture of respect that we had. And one of the things I remember as an epileptologist is our Monday OPDs. It was so heavy that now, even though I practice only as an epileptologist, I probably don't see as many patients as I see in that OPD in one day, and the variety that I see. And another thing was, everybody was just so cooperative. We have tried to maintain that here as well. I remember anything we needed in the Department of Neurology, Mr. More was always there to help. And we do some of the community activities locally, a lot of news and epilepsy walks, etc. And every time I'm always proud to say that I'm a Nairite. And truly, it's Nair that developed all this passion of neurology in me. And this is my personal family. A big thank you to all of my teachers, patients, staff, and the entire Nair family. And congratulations on completing 100 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinita Madam, for an excellent presentation. We have with us Mrs. Nagvelkar, who has served as a secretary at Neurology Department, Nair Hospital, for a very long time and has worked with Dr. P.M.Dalal. Let's hear from Nagvelkar Madam.
मेडिसिनचा अर्ध होता आणि न्यूरोलॉजी एक हे होते त्यांची. तर तिकडे ऑलमोस्ट आय थिंक 1064 का काहीतरी असे फॉर्मॅलिनचे हे होते बॉक्सेस आणि त्याच्यामध्ये सगळे हे ठेवलेले होते, ऑटोप्सीस ठेवलेलं होतं ब्रेनचं. मग ते कधी त्यांचं हे आलं की चलो चलो आज सीखेंगे कुछ भी. मग मला पण ते शिकवायचे. आप एप्रन क्यों नहीं डालते? मतलब मुझे क्या एप्रन डालने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं, पण ही यूज टू इन्सिस्ट मी टू वेअर एप्रन मीन्स ही यूज टू कट द ब्रेन नो. म्हणजे ते शिकवायचे ना असं ब्रेन हे वगैरे असं काय इंटरनल कॅरोटिड वगैरे असं ते दाखवायचे वगैरे असं सगळं ते कट करताना असं दाखवायचं. पण आय वॉज नॉट इन वेल कॉन्व्हर्संट विथ मेडिकल वर्ड्स. त्यांच्याकडे येऊन मी खूपसं म्हणजे शिकले वगैरे असं बरंच काही गोष्टी मेडिसिन्स. नंतर असं टायमिंगच्या बाबतीत पण ते खूप स्ट्रिक्ट होते. देन आय टू से गुड मॉर्निंग सर. मॉर्निंगला आले की ते धडधड अशी यायची ना, गुड मॉर्निंग सर. नो आय डोंट वॉन्ट एनी फॉर्मॅलिटीज, यू जस्ट स्टार्ट युअर वर्क. ही वॉज व्हेरी वर्कॉलिक होते, म्हणजे अगदी खरोखरच वर्कॉलिक ते होते. किती तास ते हे करायचे बापरे, खूपच असं खूप त्यांच्या अशा आहेत गमती जमती बरेच. नंतर संडेला पण आम्हाला मग कधी कधी त्यांना वाटलं मग संडेला डॉक्टर गोलकर वगैरे मग आम्ही यायचे वगैरे काम करायला ऑफिसमध्ये. हां, तेव्हा ते 3 मेडिकल कॉलेजला होतं ना मी. न्यूरो सायन्सला गेल्यानंतर एवढं म्हणजे असं हे नाही झालं. त्यानंतर मग मी आय लेफ्ट 1980. देन आय गॉट हरकिसनदास ना जॉब.
Thank you, Mrs. Nagvelkar, for your kind words. We have a special announcement to make, and I call upon Dr. Rahul Chakor, sir, to make the announcement. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. I have the privilege to make this announcement. On behalf of Mumbai Stroke Society, I am happy to announce the Dr. P.M.Dalal Memorial Stroke Oration to be delivered by Dr. Louis Kaplan, who we all know is a professor of neurology at Harvard Medical School. This will be on 25th September, Saturday at 6 p.m. It is a personal invitation to all Nair neurologists to join this oration on 25th September, Saturday at 6 p.m. Moving on to the next segment. Today, we are indeed honored to have with us our teacher and guide, who has taught almost all of us present here, Dr. A.B. Shah. Dr. Shah has taken neurology departments at Nair Hospital to great heights to make it one of the most reputed departments in the country. Dr. A.B. Shah, as we all know, is a master clinician with great clinical acumen. Sir's fast thinking and problem-solving approach is envied by all. Sir has trained generations of neurologists at Nair Hospital. Sir has conducted several clinical trials and research studies during his tenure of 2 decades at Nair Hospital. We all present here recollect that before rounds, we used to be curious as to what clinical science Sir is going to demonstrate, which we all have missed. Today, similarly, we are eager to hear from you, sir. I have to confess, sir, we were and are quite fearful of you, but now we realize the value of your teachings instilled into us. It has helped us become better clinicians and neurologists. Over to Dr. A.B. Shah.
Friends, first of all, I thank Dr. Rahul Chakor and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share a few words about my journey at Nair Hospital during these centenary celebrations. I must emphasize that I cherished and enjoyed every moment of 24 years of my association with the Department of Neurology at Nair Hospital. I joined the department as Honorary Assistant Professor of Neurology in March 1984, 1 year after the department got recognized as a full-fledged neuroscience center. Led Dr. Dalal had given us total freedom to manage clinical site and was very exciting period as we had excellent postgraduate students whom you can see on this screen. All of you whom have become excellent neurologists in various fields, more famous than any of us. This slide, photograph of late Dr. P.M.Dalal, and along with that, we have my colleagues who were Dr. Dalal's students, Dr. Shri Sastak, Dr. Sudhir Shah, Dr. Ajay Vyas, and Dr. Gupta. Dr. P.M.Dalal was an astute clinician and pioneer in stroke in India. I learned immensely from the postgraduate students and acquired administrative skills from not only Dr. Dalal, but also from my senior colleague, Dr. Suhas Golkar, who was very prominent at that time in the department. We come to 1990, I took over the department after Dr. Dalal retired. And the first year itself, we organized a symposium on neuroendocrinology, which you can see here. Dr. K.D. Nilani was the dean, and many personalities prominent from the faculty of neurology and neurosurgery attended this meeting, including, you can see here Dr. Sanat Bhagwati in one of the meetings, and one Dr. Nadim Rais, a prominent endocrinologist, and of course, the most prominent endocrinologist of Kenya Hospital, Dr. Bandarkar, addressing the gathering. So this was a successful symposium. And here you will also see somebody whom I want to introduce is Dr. Roop Gurshani, who is in the dais along with Dr. Nilani. And after I took over within a year or so, Dr. Gurshani joined as head of the department and assistant professor of neurology. And this was a blessing to us because his administrative skill and organizational skills helped us to reorganize our teaching program in a very successful way. And that teaching program, as we see here, can mid-90s, because of this good teaching program, Nair Department of Neurology was widely considered to be the first choice for training neurology in the Western region. And this was, we can proudly say that, and this was the feeling of most of my students who joined us. They had opportunity to join KM, JJ, and many other institutions, but they preferred to join us because of our teaching program, which consisted of good teaching rounds on Wednesdays, teaching program on Friday seminar, which was more of a learning from me very often. Neurology classes, thanks to visiting consultants, Dr. Dipatkar and Dr. Rajiv Mehta, which helped us to organize these classes regularly. And of course, the OPD fast learning or fast disposal of cases in OPD was one of the key of learning, and the clinical neurophysiology training. And I must say, I'm proud to say that the clinical neurophysiology training was so helpful that Dr. Ganesh, one of our residents, did a cognitive potential study in epilepsy, and this study was presented in Neurological Society of India meeting, and it got Best Paper Award during that particular year. We also trained simultaneously many of internal medicine postgraduates and psychiatry postgraduates. And here I saw are two internal medicine postgraduates who had their base foundations of neurology in our department, who have become world famous, as Jyoti Pillai, who is a associate professor at Drexel University College of Medicine, and she directs the residency program there. And of course, the famous Dr. Anish Singhal, who is a vascular neurologist at Harvard and is a director of MGS Comprehensive Stroke Center. And these are the people who had foundation of neurology and their rotation in the when they were their students. So in this particular, see, you can see many of the familiar faces you would see. They are our postgraduate students, and of course, all of them are leading neurologists in there and probably experts in many of the fields, such as Rahul, who has taken over field of infectious and tropical disease, tropical neurology. Sagar Oak is a very prominent vascular neurologist of city of Mumbai. Neetu is also a vascular neurologist in Jaipur. And the most important person you will see in the center is Dr. Vinita Acharya, who is a epileptologist in Penn State University. So these are all students who have probably done their DM neurology and the foundations at our place. During the neurology training, we conducted many of the trials. These are again, of course, other familiar faces to complete the list of almost 30 students who graduated after 1990 till 2008 at Kenya Hospital. During their training, many of these students did clinical research and they presented various papers. I had already mentioned one paper, and there are many other abstracts from Nair students which were prominent are listed here. Embolic stroke following thrombolytic therapy. This concept we almost presented in 2002 and is being increasingly recognized now. We also had a lot of interest in HIV neurological manifestations because of our collaboration with GT Hospital, and there are other rare causes of GBS and myasthenia long-term outcome. And the stroke registry is another thing which I have not listed here, which we maintained from 1990 to 1994. And the paper came out of which was presented at International Stroke Conference. The next important achievement of our department was the trials, the clinical trials, which every field probably we have included in this, right from headache to Parkinson's disease to multiple sclerosis to dementia, epilepsy, and ischemic stroke. In every field, clinical trials we carried out. And the important point was this clinical trial helped us in two ways. It helps us in regularizing our record system, and also it helps us in probably taking the clinical scoring systems and grading. We could train every postgraduate for, such as UPDRS scoring and so NIHS stroke scoring and all that. Probably patients were trained facility, EDSS. So all that training, probably all that postgraduate is received as a part of clinical trial program, and this was really helpful to us. And the most important achievement, I would say, is the dementia project in collaboration with Mount Sinai, New York. And this was an NIH funded project which was brought to us with the probably publication from late Dr. Charles Pinto, who is who was an esteemed colleague, very a friendly person, and he probably helped us out in organizing this dementia project, which was carried out for almost 5 years grant we had. And on the basis of this project, we had a memory clinic which was established, which was a multidisciplinary clinic, and also with the help of pathology department, we had created a brain bank, which was one of its unique kind in India. This project helped us in carrying out various publications, and one of the publications which is widely quoted is Characterizing Cognitive Deficits and Dementia in Aging Urban Population. And this was a publication which was done in about 2000, and it is still being 2012, and it's being quoted in various studies. So I'm extremely privileged that I was also part of Platinum Jubilee celebration 25 years ago, that is 1996, and I'm also part of this centenary celebrations. With these few words, let me thank you all. This is the Platinum Centenary celebration. This very important point is, apart from the doctors and the faculties, there were many other important people who made this department successful, and that includes our EG technicians, the secretaries, the photographer, the artist, and other which are probably there in this photograph, all to recognize. Thank you for your attention.
Let's walk ahead on the timeline. Let's unfold the last and current decade in neurology department with none other but Professor and Head of Department, Dr. Rahul Chakor sir, under whose guidance and direction the entire neurology department has immensely flourished and will continue to excel. Sir is a true visionary, a guru, and a mentor for all his students. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, seniors, colleagues and friends. At the outset, I express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us on this happy occasion of the centenary celebrations of Nair Hospital and the virtual alumni meet of Neurology Department. As ex-students and faculty as well, we always think as to where our alma mater stands today after we have accomplished our training or completed our tenure as faculty. In the next 5 minutes, I would like to take you through the developments which have happened at Nair Hospital Neurology Department. As we all know, the Department of Neurology was founded by Dr. P.M.Dalal in 1963. Subsequently, it was headed by Dr. A.B. Shah till 2008. I joined this department as lecturer in 2004 under Dr. A.B. Shah. My motive that time was to learn clinical neurology and EEG from Dr. Shah. In the next year, I received a fellowship in clinical neurophysiology at the Cleveland Clinic. Subsequently, on returning, I continued to work as lecturer in the neurology department. Dr. Shah retired in 2008, and the then Dean, Dr. Rannavre, and the director, Dr. Sanjay Oak, requested me to continue as associate professor, and subsequently I was appointed as in charge and later as head of the neurology department in 2008. It has been 15 years since then. In reality, I had no plans to continue to work as a full-timer for more than few years. It so happened that the next year, the corporation created a cadre of full-time medical teachers with practice option. I saw this as an opportunity to work in a large teaching institute and simultaneously practice. So I transformed myself into a full-timer and have been working at the Nair Hospital since then. Continuing as a full-timer with affiliated training for DM neurology at the university, our biggest challenge was to fulfill the MCI norms for continuing to get recognition of DM neurology training. There are several must-have things as per the MCI norms. The most important is having full-time professor, associate professor and assistant professor. We got appointed Dr. Harish Bharote as assistant professor, and in the same year we got assistant professor Dr. Snehal Dutt Khade from JJ Hospital, who joined here to complete the bonded service at the corporation. Subsequently, we continue to get candidates from all over the country to gain experience of working in a teaching institute. Currently, we have 3 assistant professors, Dr. Swaliha Nadaf, Dr. Prachi Barwalia and Dr. Wahid Momin working in the neurology department.
there were several other requirements which we needed to fulfill to continue with our MCI recognition. That is a separate space for the faculty, separate area for library, seminar, a functioning EEG, EMG machine, a technician, a space for clinical research, among others. We shifted our wards to the new building 8th floor, wherein 25 beds were marked for neurology patients. Additionally, we managed to get 2 beds reserved for stroke thrombolysis. The department, which was earlier located in the CT scan mortuary building, is shifted to the 3rd floor OPD building. We had to struggle really hard to get relocated to the new spacious area on the 3rd floor. Here we have separate areas for faculty, area for electrophysiology, area for library, small meetings and journal reading. We also have a separate area for clinical research. The electrophysiology lab has 2 EEG and 2 EMG machines. We also have acquired a portable EEG and EMG machine so that we can do portable EEG records for ICU patients. The department has a department library which has over more than 500 books and journals. There is facility of e-library with internet facility for e-journals. The OPDs have been renovated on the 1st floor of the OPD building. There are 5 OPD rooms with a space marked for OPD clinics. The OPDs are overcrowded with around 150 patients attending each OPD. The epilepsy OPD is on Monday, the neurology OPD is on Tuesday and Thursday. Since this year, we have started a disability OPD which is located on the 1st floor. This OPD will streamline issuing of disability certificates, permanent unfit, temporary unfit, extra time certificate and other certificates for the differently abled neurology patients. The OPDs have around 15,000 patient visits each year. The admissions are around 600 to 800 in neurology wards. Around 1,000 EEGs are done every month. Around 400 to 600 EMGs are done every month. Every month, 4 patients receive Botox therapy, among the other facilities. We also give free treatment in the form of IVIG, plasmapheresis, rituximab to several patients through our DDF. We also managed to do genetic tests through the DDF and have done clinical exome studies in more than 50 patients and reached a genetic diagnosis for rare neurological conditions. We have an active thrombolysis team and we have thrombolized over 200 patients over the last few years. The department is also a site for phase 3 clinical studies. We have completed the Asclepios and Elithios trial of ofatumumab in multiple sclerosis, the erinumab trial, that is the EMPOWER trial for migraine study. We are in the initiation phase for remibrutinib and pegylated interferon study for multiple sclerosis in adolescents. The department is one of the sought after departments for DM neurology training. 2 candidates have received gold medal in the last couple of years. It is also a department of choice for post-DM neurologists to gain experience following the DM training. Regularly, we get candidates from across the country to gain post-DM experience at our department. The department has a structured teaching program. In addition to case presentations and ward rounds, we have joint meetings with the neurosurgery and neuroimaging services every week. Regular journal clubs and meetings are held every Saturday. The department is involved in undergraduate training for MBBS students. The department also trains paramedical courses like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and audiology and speech therapy. Over 25 publications have been done in the last 5 years and more than 50 presentations have been done in different conferences. We are happy to announce that the number of PG seats will be increased to 3 from the present 1 from the next year. The functioning of the department has been streamlined and the system is in place. We will always strive hard to work on the lines on which the hospital was started by the founders, that is service above self. Our morals are high and we will take this department further in service, research and training as envisioned by its founders. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful talk. Now let's meet Dr. Harish Barote, sir, who is Associate Professor in Neurology Department at Nair Hospital. Sir is an enthusiastic teacher training several residents for over a decade. Sir is a friend, a philosopher, and a guide for all his students. Let's hear from Sir. Over to you, Harish, sir.
I am Dr. Harish Barote. I have been Associate Professor in Neurology in Nair Hospital for last 3 years, and I have been associated with this department for last 12 years. Earlier I was lecturer, now I am Associate Professor. We as neurology has grown by leaps and bounds, and I have also grown accordingly. This neurology department earlier when I joined had hardly 40 patients in the OPD. Now there are more than 200 patients who are attending this OPD. Also the bed strength have increased. Earlier we used to have 10 beds in male and 5 in female. Now it has increased to almost 25 beds. Also we have grown accordingly and we have been grown academically. Last year we conducted DNB exams and DM exams which were there in Nair Hospital, and I thank Dr. Chakor for all my growth for this.
Thank you, Harish sir, for your sweet message. Let's move on to the next segment of our meet. Messages from our senior alumni and faculty. We have with us one of the most famous neurologists, bestowed with the most prestigious civilian award, Padma Shri. Let's hear from Dr. Sudhir Shah, sir. Over to you, sir.
At this centenary year of Nair Hospital, I wish to congratulate all Nairites for having such a wonderful and successful journey of life. Me too is very well satisfied that I studied at Nair Hospital between 1986 to 1989 for my DM course of neurology. I salute my teachers, Professor P.M.Dalal, Professor Arun Shah and the whole team. And I cherish my great memory with my friends, Dr. Hastak, Dr. Sarab, Dr. Ajay Gas and others. We had great teachers like Dr. V.R. Joshi and others who were in the medicine, rheumatology and other departments, and it was a great learning of neurology and medicine at Nair Hospital, which helped me a lot in my clinical practice and success in my life. It is a matter of pride for me that I am an Nairite. At the same time, I must say that my father, Dr. Vadilal J. Shah, was also a Nairite who studied in 1946 to 48 in Nair Hospital. I want to thank all my teachers and colleagues for giving all the love, knowledge and pleasures of life. At the same time, I want to give best wishes to all the Nairites who are present here, who have studied in Nair, as well as those who will be studying in future. May God bless us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sudhir Shah, sir. We have with us Dr. Roop Gursahani, sir, former faculty at Nair Hospital, a wonderful teacher who has been involved in training several neurologists during his tenure. Sir is currently consultant neurologist at Hinduja Hospital, Mahim. Let's hear from Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Roop Gursahani from Hinduja Hospital. I moved to Nair Hospital from JJ in 1991, and I was there for 3 years until I moved on into private practice in 1994. It was a very friendly and welcoming place which made me feel at home instantly. There are so many friends I made during that time who are still in touch with me so many years later. In fact, those were some of the best years of my life. Let me close by conveying my best wishes to the staff, students, and alumni of this great institution on its centenary, and to the Department of Neurology under the leadership of Dr. Rahul Chakor. Thank you.
Thank you, Gursahani sir. We have a message from the President-elect of the Indian Academy of Neurology, Dr. Nirmal Surya sir, who has been associated with Nair Hospital Neurology Department for long. Let's hear from sir.
Nirmal Surya, I'm a neurologist, and though I am not done undergraduate or postgraduate from Nair Hospital, I had a privilege to join Nair Hospital in 2000 as visiting consultant in the Department of Neurology. The then Dean, Dr. Nilima Shirsagar, who appointed me to develop especially the neurorehabilitation and the botulinum toxin clinic in Nair Hospital. I want to thank OTPT ST heads who supported us, and I want to tell the young neurologists that take the rehabilitation seriously, and that's going to be a major thing for your future practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nirmal sir, for your message. We have with us Nola Shah madam, who is a very senior electrophysiology technician. She has served Nair Hospital from 1983 to 2019 for nearly 4 decades. Under her guidance, several residents have received training in electrophysiology. She has also been awarded as the Best Employee Award. Let's hear from Nola madam. Over to you, ma'am.
Happy to meet you all after a long time on this centenary year occasion. Here I am reading my experience for you. I played longest inning of 36 years in this reputed organization and retired in 2019 as a EG technician. The wealth of knowledge, lessons and skills I gained in this reputed organizations becomes valuable treasure for me. It has been my pleasure to be connected with all the wonderful and helpful, dedicated people and experts in this institution with whom I worked during my long tenure here. I have great memories of the times shared and achieved success together. All these have been memorable part of my life. I am thankful to all the past and present deans, doctors, colleagues, servants, and my BPMT students who kept me agile. I am especially thankful to my past and present departmental heads. Among them are my mentor, my guide, Dr. Pravina Shah madam, Dr. Venkserkar, my guru, Dr. Gursahani sir, Dr. A.V. Shah sir, and present HOD, Dr. Chakor sir, all encouraged me, trusted me, and kept faith in me and gave fullest liberty, cooperation, and support to spread my wings and flourish. I am very happy that in my active years with many resident doctors, we together learned new techniques of EEG procedures. My dear friends, I am extremely proud of what we have achieved together. As it is clearly evident, we have achieved a lot by working in harmony as a team. My career has been both challenging and rewarding. I have been put in my best. I have been privileged to be the part of this department. Since retirement, I am missing those beautiful and amazing environment, but believes that the show must go on. My heartiest congratulations to the Nair Hospital and each and every employee on this centenary year. Proud to be Nairite.
Thank you so much, Nola ma'am. Indeed, proud to be Nairite. All keep seated for the most awaited segment of our meet. Time for some real fun. Time to remember the old memories and to make new ones. The old memories which can never be replaced. The timeless treasures bearing a special place in our hearts. Just as Michelangelo sculpted his marvelous masterpiece David from a piece of marble, Nair Hospital Neurology Department and its wonderful teachers have brought out the David in each of its students and produced marvelous neurologists who have made a name and established themselves all over the globe. Let's hear some pearls of wisdom from the esteemed alumni.
I am Dr. Bhavin Upadhyay from Baroda, a young lad of 25 years of age coming to Mumbai and Chakachon world of neurology. Was very warmly welcomed by Nair Hospital. I was taught the compassion for neurology, commitment towards my patients, and competitiveness in this world of neurology. I'm indebted to Dr. Arun B. Shah sir and Dr. Gurshani sir for teaching me neurology, not only personally, but even today I'm asking so many difficulties without any hesitation. I'm indebted to Nair and Neurology Department for whatever I'm today. Thank you very much, Nair.
I am Dr. R.S. Bhatia, a neurophysician. I had joined Nair Neurology Department in 1994 under Dr. Arun B. Shah. Frankly, my first 6 months were pretty difficult for various reasons. But as the time went by, the things became comfortable. And after passing in 97 and went into the society, I realized the significance of teachings of Dr. A.B. Shah. His clear understanding not only of neurology but even of general medicine has helped us to become a good physician. Under his stewardship, we have not only served thousands of patients but also realized that how a good institute and a good teacher can help us to serve the society at large. I am thankful to Dr. Arun B. Shah for being our teacher and the Nair Institute.
Greeting all, I am Dr. Kishore Parsala, consultant neurologist and one of the director of ICU and multi-speciality hospital in Surat. I was lucky enough to get DM Neurology under the highly respected professor Dr. Arun B. Shah in 1996. I am not going to lie, but due to certain circumstances, that was very tough time. Although looking back, I realized that it was the most prestigious and awarding period of my life, because those were the days that helped me to become highly qualified, respected and successful neurologist in Surat, which was possible due to sir's selfless guidance and unmatched teaching skill. I would also like to take this opportunity to mention my and my wife Dr. Rasmi Parsala's gratitude toward my senior Dr. Sushil Tendel, Dr. Umesh T, Dr. R.S. Bhatia, Dr. Sunil Bandisti, Dr. Jayant, Dr. Rahul Kulkarni and Dr. Ramdas and Mrs. Nola Shah and each and every kind member of neurology department for their support and blessing they have given to us during our training period. Last but not least, my message to upcoming student at neurology department is that no matter how hard things get during your training period, but it was necessary for your nourishment and growth overall, both as a successful doctor and contributing member of society. So keep pushing through it and have faith in your mentor. Good luck. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rahul Kulkarni, neurologist from Pune. I worked in Nair Hospital between 1997 to 2000 as a resident in neurology department. I had very good memories of the department of neurology. It was one of the most premium neurology department at that time. Dr. A.B. Shah sir, who is an astute clinician, we all know about him, who could diagnose some rare condition within moments. So we learned a lot from him. There were seminars, there were bedside teachings, there were teaching while walking with him. we used to learn every time from him. I also had good seniors, colleagues, as well as juniors with whom I worked. Um, Dr. Bhatia, Dr. Umesh, Dr. Bandishti, Dr. Lathi, Dr. Kishore Padsala, Dr. Ranjit Ramdas, Dr. Datta Nadgir, Dr. Sagaro. These were all people with whom I worked in those 3 years in the Department of Neurology. Basically, we had a lot of freedom in the department, so we used to do EMGs, EEGs, nerve conductions, even at odd hours. So we could learn a lot by seeing patients, by seeing how sir was checking patients, and by talking to him. It was really one of the very good department, and I learned a lot from the department. I would say that my stepping stone as a neurologist started from the Department of Neurology, Nair Hospital. Now, if I have to tell something to the students or the youngsters, I would recommend that number one, you should try and change the way you think, change your hat. When you see a patient, make sure that you think like a neurologist about this patient. What best I can do as a neurologist for the patient, and whatever he has, what is a neurological problem that he or she has, which I can handle, that is what you should start thinking. Second, you must have a motto that you are just going to take one more step. So try and diagnose a condition, take one more step, try and find out why this has happened. So you diagnose a stroke, take one more step to see why this stroke has happened. Then take one more step, what you can do best to the patient. If you're given the best treatment or you can't give any treatment, see what you can do for the family. So just think of one more step, just take one step to help the patient, to his family, his relatives, and everyone. And of course, when you are doing your DM course, these 3 years, you must behave like a sponge. Try and learn everything like a sponge which can absorb everything. Try and absorb everything from your seniors, juniors, teachers, friends, colleagues, maybe friends in the other department like neurosurgery, pathology, radiology. It is those 3 years, whatever you learn from papers, posters, journals, patient.
Hi, everybody. At the onset, I would like to congratulate everybody on Nair Centenary celebrations and would like to thank the organizers for giving me a chance to speak on this occasion. Nair is a great institute, and Professor A.B. Shah, under whom I've trained. Sir, you're an inspiration and will always be. My time at Nair, well, honestly, the first year is what I would like to call as the grind. Days and nights would disappear, and Wednesday grand rounds would give me sleepless nights. I would like to thank Datta and Ranjit for helping me go through this phase of my life. The grind, however, I think is very important because it helps you build up the stamina and the perseverance which you require later in the various phases of your life. By second year, life became a little easier with joining of my juniors Ashok and Pitras. We had a lot of fun moments hanging out at different places in Mumbai and going to different institutes to study from different teachers. My suggestions probably should include a rotation in the neurosurgical department to understand for neurologists how things work. Also would include greater exposure to acute neurology and development of subspeciality, which is the...
Hi everyone, inspired by my Nair seniors Sunil Bandishti and Rahul Kulkarni, I took up neurology at Nair Hospital in 2002. We imbibed the sharp clinical neurology and astute therapeutic management from Professor A.B. Shah and Dr. Ranjit, who was the lecturer then. We had our fun moments, we went to restaurants and had many memories of our times as a resident. In my tenure, we also started clinical trials in movement disorders in Parkinson's disease, which probably inspired me to take up movement disorders later on. As the resident strength of Nair Hospital has grown over the years, and we celebrate Nair Centenary, I wish the future generations all the best. And I do hope that we can have an acute stroke program in Nair with the increased strength, something that we all missed. Thank you.
Good evening everyone. I am Dr. Rahul Baviskar, presently working in Nasik. I was fortunate to be part of the Twin Institute, Topiwala National Medical College and BYL Nair Charitable Hospital as a MBBS student 1993 batch and as a I was fortunate to work under able guidance of Dr. Arun B. Shah sir, one of the best neurologists of this country, and Dr. Rahul Chapur as a co-lecturer during my academic career. This institute has played an important part in shaping my career. I have an excellent memories of working in the Department of Neurology. I could still remember the Wednesday grand rounds and the Saturday neuroradiological meets. I have also excellent memories of working with the staff members of the Department of Neurology, especially Nola Shah ma'am, Mogre, Gaude, Chavan and Kavita. I congratulate and thank Department of Neurology for involving us in this centenary celebrations. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Ramshekhar N. Menon, Additional Professor in the Department of Neurology, Sri Chitrathirunal Institute for Medical Sciences and Technology, which is an institute of national importance under the Government of India, situated in the South Indian city of Thiruvananthapuram. As a proud Nairite, I have no hesitation in saying that the period of between 2006 to 2009, when I underwent my DM Neurology residency training, was probably one of the best years of my life. My interactions with my senior teacher and HOD, Professor Arun B. Shah, senior teachers like Dr. Rahul Chakor, Dr. Rahul Baviskar, my senior colleagues, Dr. Neeraj Jain, Dr. Neerav Sanghani, my junior colleagues, Dr. Mahendra Javli, Dr. Anand Soni, have left an indelible impact on me, both as a part of my career as a clinical neurologist as well as an academic neurologist. And in fact, the foundations of my decision to join an academic institute were laid at Nair Hospital. I also have warm personal memories of my interactions with office staff of the Department of Neurology, outpatient staff, electroencephalography unit, and other departments. I also have very fond memories of my stay at Anand Bhavan and 308 New RMO quarters, where I brought my wife and my 4-month-old child when I joined as a DM resident. Being a single resident in the Department of Neurology had its advantages and disadvantages because you had to take calls 4 days a week. But I think the rigorous nature of the training, as well as the humility with which you learn, and the fact that your patients teach you a lot, all this tend to leave an indelible impact on you. I think the amount of confidence that is instilled in you will be tremendous once you pass out from the institute. And I think you should learn to carry it forward. Be extremely proud of your heritage, and you are second to none. And wish you all the very best. And please remain in touch. We are there to guide you in case of any queries which you may have with respect to not only your career but also your academic and.
I am Dr. Anand Soni. I pursued my DM in neurology at Nair Hospital from 2008 to 2011. Presently practicing in Aurangabad, attached to 2 private hospitals. With Dr. A.B. Shah sir as a guide, mentor, and Dr. Chakor sir, Bharote sir, Ramshekhar and Mahendra sir as my seniors, I can become a good clinical neurologist. I understood that neurology is like mathematics. Your love for neurology evolves as you solve more and more difficult arithmetics. A.B. Shah sir's style, way of teaching, his clinical meetings which I attended made me more confident in my clinical practice. For residents, I would tell, have empathy towards your patient and patient's relative and problem of the patients. The greatest pleasure of life lies in your patient getting better after your treatment. I am honored to be part of Nair Neurology. Thank you.
Life brings tears, smiles, and memories. The tears dry, the smiles fade, but the memories last forever. Once again, our eyes are filled with tears, and our smile just can't fade as we rewind and go back to our good old days. We have many more friends to meet. Stay tuned for another memory feast. But before that, we have a short opinion poll for you all, and you have 30 seconds to answer. Vote by clicking on the poll button on the right side of your screen. The time starts now. Have the poll. Okay, thank you for the poll. So we definitely, the answer is yes. Okay. So now let's go ahead and move on to the other videos.
Hello dear friends, seniors and teachers. I am Dr. Snehal Khade, consultant neurophysician at Kolhapur. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Rahul Chakur, Dr. Swaleha and the committee members to have invited me to have a few words on this auspicious occasion of 100th anniversary of TN Medical College and Nair Charitable Hospital. I remember in 2013, after completion of my DM Neurology from Sir JJ Hospital, I had a 1-year stint as a super speciality medical officer at Nair Hospital, and it was awesome. The head of department Dr. Rahul Chakur and the team and my juniors, it was all fun. The morning rounds, the EEG discussions, weekly radiology meet, lectures to the juniors, to the MBBS students, to the physiotherapists. So it was all a lot of fun, but most of all, the neurology department building that isolated place. Well, here are a few memories which ignited, stimulated an artist within me. These are a few sketches I used to draw at the neurology department in my leisure time in the afternoon hours. So finally, I would wish all the very best to the ever-growing grand success of neurology department at Nair Hospital. Thank you so much again for inviting me for a short talk. Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone, this is Dr. Khansa. I have done neurology residency from 2012 to 2015 in Nair Hospital. It is a great moment for every Nairite as the institution is going to complete its 100 years. As we all know, Nair has laid the foundation stones in my career, in many other doctors' career, and hopefully it is going to enlighten the life of many other young doctors. It is an honor of mine to work under such a great institution and under such a great teacher like Chakur sir, and it is really proud to be a Nairite.
Hello, I am Dr. Chetan Shodhi, consultant neurologist at Jalgaon. I work as SSMO in Nair Hospital after completion of my DM from JJ Hospital. Although I was new in the department, I never felt outsider. The department was so friendly and loving that I easily gelled with the department. The duration was very short, it was just 1 year. Every week is filled with academic activities which includes case presentations, ward rounds, journal club, seminars, etc. Even now after 4-5 years, I remember the discussions and cases till now. The department is very sincere. The credit goes to Rahul Chakur sir and the legacy of Dr. A.B. Shah sir. Each hospital, each department has its unique characteristics. Nair Hospital, I found, is very calm, sincere, working silently without any showbiz. And I loved the Nair Hospital and working in Nair Hospital neurology department very much, and I will cherish those memories for lifelong. Thank you.
Hello, I am Kaumil Kothari. I was a neurology resident from 2014 to 2017 and I was a senior registrar from 2017 to 18. I would like to congratulate Chakur sir and all the faculty members at Nair Hospital Neurology Department for arranging this beautiful alumni meet, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of it. Chakur sir is a man of few words, but his actions speak louder than words. He leads by example and he is always updated from all the different aspects of neurology. He keeps on reading and he instills this habit in all the residents so that we are always updated about all the advances in our field. I would like to highlight a few milestones during my residency. The first one is that we could establish a stroke unit and thrombolized more than 75 patients during my residency. It was only possible because of Chakor sir's vision and his complete trust on the neurology residents. We were able to do this despite little or no grant from the BMC. Another important highlight was regular case presentations during residency. Case presentations are now, over time, they are given less and less importance, but these case presentations help to dissect each and every symptom up to the localization, and it actually converts the phobia of case presentation into a great learning exercise. Because of these regular case presentations, I was able to stand first in the university exam, and I know that Chakor sir was more happy than I was. He also supported me to pursue neuro intervention and discussing all the aspects including pros and cons of this decision. Also, I was very lucky to have supportive seniors and senior registrars. I would like to mention Dr. Anuja, who was my colleague during my senior registrarship, and we used to have great discussions during rounds and even off rounds. A mention would also be of Dr. Swalia, who was my junior, and she is one of the most sincere persons I know. Also, I would like to mention all the supportive staff of the department, including Mrs. Nola, who was a very sincere EEG technician, whom I am sure many of you would know, and also the BPMT students, whom we teach the EMG NCV basics, and also it is very fun to take those lectures. Cheers to samosas at the choice, and it was great speaking here. Thank you.
Hello everybody, this is Dr. Anuja Patil. I am working currently as consultant neurologist at KIMS Hospitals at Secunderabad. I had the honor to be a part of the legacy of Nair Hospital for a brief period. It was in the year of 2017 as part of my bond service. It was a privilege to be under the guidance of Dr. Rahul Chakor, our head of department during that time, an ever so polite and humble personality. I learned how to deal with anxious patient attenders, how to calmly analyze complicated cases from him. I also had a wonderful team with Dr. Kaumil, Dr. Swaleha, Anand, Neelam, even Dr. Dipali joined later. Together they made sure that the ward rounds would be a fun feast. It was often followed sometimes by marathon across all the wards, looking for the references. The experience at neurophysiology labs with EEGs and NCS was made even more memorable with dear and affectionate Nola madam and her team of students. Going down the memory lane, when I still recall the neuroradiology sessions, our epilepsy club meetings, they all showed that learning is a lifelong process. I had recently finished my residency. I had the quest to learn and gain more and more clinical experience in neurology, and it was sure as hell fulfilled at Nair Hospital. Our department was like a cozy family, and the wealth of clinical experience and knowledge was invaluable. I'm sure many more bright minds are going to be a part of and carry forward this legacy. Glad to be a part of Nair Hospital team. Wish you all the very best.
Good evening everybody. I am Dr. Swaleha Nadaf. I am current assistant professor in the Department of Neurology at Nair Hospital. I joined TM Neurology in 2015 and finished in 2018. Initially I joined a bit reluctantly, unaware of what lies ahead. But it turned out to be one of the best learning experiences I ever had. I got to see amazing variety of patients. I got to do hands-on EMG, NCS, EEG and BEP. I got better at neuroradiology because of the every week neuroradiology meets. I got better understanding of neurosurgery and neurological management of patients because of the neurosurgery meets. Stroke thrombolysis was a very difficult task in a public teaching hospital, but due to sir's enthusiasm and radiology team support, we could establish a system for thrombolysis of even poor patients. Sir's enthusiasm to get genetic answers and support from the social work team of Nair Hospital, we are able to regularly send the genetics and get answers of the neurodegenerative cases. Nair gave me opportunity to work with extraordinary seniors like Dr. Chetan sir, Dr. Bhagavan sir, Dr. Tejas sir, Dr. Komil Kothari and Dr. Anuja Patil. And most importantly, I am grateful to Dr. Chakor sir for his patience, his continued teaching without judging. He is giving freedom to express thoughts, teaching humility and politeness, and a lot more. I stayed at Nair Hospital because I feel there is a lot to be given for the service of patients. And I thank sir for giving me opportunity to pursue my goals. Thank you.
We are now nearing the end of the program, and I have the privilege to present the vote of thanks. Respected teachers, seniors, colleagues, and friends, on behalf of the entire Bhai Yamunabai Lakshman Rao Nair Hospital and Topiwala National Medical College and the Neurology Department, I extend a very hearty thank you to all of you for being part of the centenary celebration and the alumni function. I thank FTC and team for the technical support in organizing this event and making it success. Since an in-person alumni meet was not possible, we have tried our best to organize this alumni event on a virtual platform. Hope you all have enjoyed. This event is recorded and will be posted on Nair Hospital Facebook and YouTube. You will receive your e-souvenir from FTC on your emails. We look forward to having more frequent alumni meets. Feedbacks and suggestions for an alumni association and events are welcome. Thank you all once again. Good night. Have a nice weekend.